So you're a freelancer, you need Hello Bonsai. So check out this review with me, Doug Digital, professional digital marketer. So what is Hello Bonsai? No more Googling. This is your one-stop shop for all your freelancing needs. Draft contracts, draft proposals that are approved by lawyers, log your time, and more in what is, I think, a very clean interface that's really easy to use and doesn't require you to spend your hours in multiple spreadsheets or Googling for lots of info. Track, send, record, all in one place. So don't forget to subscribe, follow me on social media, and let's jump into the review. Okay, so here we are in the Hello Bonsai dashboard. This is a web-based application, but you can also get the phone app as well. So if you want to manage on the go. So in your dashboard, you're going to see a couple of things when you first log in. On the left-hand side, you're going to have your navigation. You're going to have your clients and projects. You're going to have your proposals, your contracts, your invoices, a little bit of time tracking and task management, and then also your accounting and taxes. So why I recommend Hello Bonsai and what it's really great for is giving all of that information that normally would be in lots of different spreadsheets all in one place. So starting at the top, you can see project timelines. So this is pulling through your projects that you see on the left-hand side. A project is essentially it is what it says on the tin. It's a project that you've assigned to an existing or new client. And then you have a really simple little timeline that as you hover over the elements, you can see what's happened. So a proposal was drafted for this project, an invoice was drafted. You can see other elements. You can see that a contract was drafted. I can also see that there was another contract and invoice drafted, and you can click on them to find out more information if you want to. It just means that you can get a high level view. You're going to see your income and expenses. So you get a real clear view of the bottom line. So as you are buying resources in order for projects to move forward and you're tracking invoices, you can then see everything here with a nice P&L chart there. So you can see exactly what your bottom line is over a period of time. You also have the task management element, where you can keep track of the tasks for various projects, and that'll come up there. And anywhere you can see a plus, you can then instantly add that element. And then obviously you've got time tracking as well. Really, really useful is that you can get a browser extension, or you can get like a downloadable app for your phone, or get the actual, I believe it's a Windows and Mac app, like executable file that allows you to track time. And how that works is you select your project and select a task that you're working on, and you just set it to go and make sure you've got your rates that you're running with. And that will give you a really nice chart, as you can see there, how much time you're spending, but also how much you are getting charged. How much you're getting charged, how much you're getting paid. So this is particularly useful for graphic designers out there who work on an hourly rate, or perhaps rather than a flat fee project basis, you like to go in and just work on things as and when they come up. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the client CRM. So I've got a couple of examples there that I've just made up with a few dummy email addresses. So I've got my name there, Douglas Adams, D Adams. I've got myself labeled as a client. I could add a new client. I could add client tags. So perhaps rather than client, it could be sector or industry that you're working in. And then each client will have basically an account name, and it will have a list of contacts. So let's go into this one. So this one here is me. I've nicknamed the account. The name of the account that the client represents is The Digital Dojo. I've got an email address there, but then also I've got like a series of additional contacts. So perhaps you're working with a large organization and you have separate contacts. You can very quickly add them by just clicking a little plus icon and then just entering their details, which is very useful when it comes to accounting because you can just click from a drop down list. Projects, I can see all the projects that are active or complete, how much money I've generated and how much revenue I've generated from that client, if anything's outstanding. And you can add a couple more bits of information there as well. Now, you also have forms. So forms are really good when you're scouting out and you're trying to do some information gathering about a new client. So what's their budget? What are they looking to improve? What are their pain points? I haven't used that because it's part of one of their higher tier payment options, but that's definitely something you could look at doing. So really great, simple area, and editing is really simple as well. Now, again, you can see on the left-hand side, forms and automations. I personally haven't used automations because, again, it's on the higher tier, but I imagine it could be valuable to you. Unfortunately, I can't give you a kind of an insight into that because I haven't used it. But one thing I would say about the client dashboard is that it's very simple. It's very easy to use. And for someone like me that likes a nice, easy to use interface that is a little bit more flexible than spreadsheets, because if you're like me, you can't use spreadsheets, then this is the place that I tend to go. Now, let's move over to projects. So projects involve you having a client associated with them. So here we've got example branding project, and it's for a test client, and here's the start date, February the 10th. I can just change that if I wanted to. And what's the payment status? This one's been paid. Excellent. So do I want to mark that as completed? It has been paid. So you know what? Yeah, I'm going to mark that one as paid. Confirm completion. There we go. And that was incredibly simple. So mark that as complete. So now when I look at my projects, I'll just see this one here that's outstanding. Now when I hover over the little green dot, I can see project active. So let's create a new project. I'm going to choose the client, and the client is going to be the Digital Dojo once again. And this project is going to be example social media management. I'm going to choose the currency. I'm not going to assign an hourly rate for this. I'm just going to say create project. So then it's going to create that space for me. Now, this is where things get really exciting. And for me, my biggest challenge is simplicity when it comes to getting things off the ground with a new client and doing so in a way that gives me credibility and authority and says, I know I've got my shit together, but then also for the client, giving them peace of mind. Because I think one of the worst things that you can do as a freelancer and a contractor is to appear unorganized. You have to be the one that they can rely on. And this is going to give you that accountability and authority. So to start with, there's a couple of little things here. When we're in our project database, we've got some various tabs at the top: overview, invoices, time tracking, collaborators, and settings. I'm not going to go through all of those today, but I think there's a couple of key areas that we need to have a look at. So first things first, in the top right hand side, we can invite people if we'd like to, let's say, invite collaborators, people that you're going to share the work with. And they'll have a limited view as to what's going on. So you can almost think of when you invite collaborators as someone that can like spy, just to view your workspace. But it could be quite a good way of building that trust, that collaboration. So if I wanted to, I'm going to go view as client. So what would the client see? Now here we go. This is where you have that payment wall. So you would have to use their workflow plus section, which will enable the client portal. So that rather than adding collaborators, we'll add them as a client portal, and then they'll come in and they'll be able to see that in a white labeled experience. So keep that in mind when you're doing this. Active tasks. Let's go ahead and add a task. This is a task. There we go. And nice and simple. Very good. And do I want to edit that? No, I'm quite happy with that. So it's nice and simple. Personally, in using this, I found that I always tend to default back to my usual task management. So something like Trello or Todoist or even Notion, I find better for task management. But just for day-to-day keeping tabs on some of the key client projects, this can be quite useful. I just personally, I wouldn't use it. What it can be valuable is when you can combine that with a timer. So in the top right, you'll see start timer, and I'll click plus, and I'm going to say it's part of the example social media management, and it's this task. So you can see it's already pulled that in, and I'm going to say I'm billing this at an hourly rate of 50. There we go. And I am showing an example. There we go. I'm just going to leave that there. It will save dynamically and automatically, and that will keep updating, keep running through that. Filters, files and messages is a great place for just using this as a content repository for anything that's related, and you can also add notes to your documentation as well. So client said comment about the latest social media post and send. So there we go. I've just got a little log there. For many people that use traditional CRMs like HubSpot or Salesforce, you know that this is a little bit derivative. It's quite basic, but for the use case where it's going to be freelancers, it's going to be people that are just trying to keep track of small projects for people, I feel like this is going to be all you really need. You don't need something big and bold and convoluted. Oh, it's convoluted, but it's definitely complex when you're using HubSpot or Salesforce. It's much, much simpler. And you've probably already seen the colourful labels on the side: invoices, documents, time tracking, expenses. Oh, guys, this is I think where for me the real value starts to come into play. And this is what I was talking about, where you want to build authority and trust. So you're going to be keeping a log of your tasks. Excellent, great. But you've got to make sure that everything is on task in terms of the proposals that you presented. But then also you need to protect yourself with kind of a lawyer approved contract. So this is where those documents will come in. Now there are other elements, areas of Hello Bonsai that you'll see on the left where you can deal with those separately, but you can manage every one of those pieces from within your project panel. So you can have separate proposals, separate contracts, and separate forms, all for a particular project, which is really, really cool. So time tracking obviously is going to come up there, and you can manually just hop in and say, let's add some manual time in there. So say this is a task. I spent, say, 4 hours on this yesterday. Oh, there we are. Test. Time, I did that yesterday. 4 hours, £50 hourly rate. Your entry has been created, so there we go. We've got unbilled hours. So I need to make sure that I sort that out. Now, do remember at the start, I unchecked hourly rate, and I haven't set that at billed hours. So I'll need to have a look at changing that as well. Expenses. Are you actually buying anything part of this project? Procuring any services? So for me, I tend to do a lot of paid advertisements. Generally, the client manages this. Or let's use the example of I'm doing some social media management and I purchased some video collateral. So I'll say video collateral, and I'll give that a category, and it will give us a pre-made list of expense categories. So you've got materials, supplies, could be missed costs of goods, could be advertising, subcontractors, it could be. This is probably, for me in this instance, it's probably going to fall under advertising spend. Video collateral, and this video, oh, it's an expensive video. It cost me $500, and I did that last week. And do I want to add an image and receipt? I could do. Add a note. This was the carousel video for LinkedIn. There we go. Create expense. And then that will come through as an expense in there, which is very, very cool. Now, let's move away from projects and notice that timer is still ticking over, which is cool. A nice little benchmark there to make sure I'm keeping to time. We're going to go over to proposals. Now, have you ever had it where someone asks you to do a piece of work, and you start doing the piece of work, and then the expectations for that piece of work changes? That is normally because you haven't got a well-defined project proposal. So, with Hello Bonsai, what I think is really valuable is that you can choose from a series of preset templates or example templates based on a couple of use cases for the platform, but you can also make templates as well. So you could go in, you can create a new proposal, establish for a drag and drop builder some presets, and then you can start saving these templates to refer back to later. So this one here is a copy of a digital marketing proposal template. So I'm going to go, I can download that, but I'm going to go in and edit it for the moment. And when I do that, it's going to give me this really simple builder. Really, really simple. I can hover over elements to delete them. I can change and add images. Very, very simple. I can change the color. So I've got the text as blue because, gosh, I made a terrible decision there. I'm just going to click over to black. Not really black. There we go. 000. Now, the global theme for that has been changed. So now all of the copy is black. I can very quickly click and move elements. Oh, I've just got a message come through about the project. And here, for example, I can set rates on the things that I'm going to be producing, and it will automatically calculate it for me in a really simple fee structure. Getting notes from my project that I've just updated saying Doug has changed and add comments. So I'm going to say that this one had a social media audit, and one audit is going to be £250, and then full rebrand of your channels is going to be 400. It would be much less than 400 depending on who you go for. It's quite expensive actually. Blog content, so 5 social posts. And we're going to say there's 5, and each one is going to be worth £50. Auto calculates to 250, and there we go, £900. And that's in pounds. There we go. So this is going to go to the client, and they're going to see this really slick proposal that you've designed, that you've mocked up, you've added elements to, you've added images to. And you have a batch of basically templates that you can use to very quickly deliver that best-in-class service. So just imagine you're a couple of months from now, and the client is asking you for a new project, a new website. You can come into here, select your pre-made template that you spent a few minutes building, dragging and dropping elements, moving elements around the page. Adding in different sections. So let's say in this bit I added file attachments, so some examples. So I've added that in there. I've included some attachments. It's going to look really, really slick, and then you can just send that to them, and you'll get an email notification to say that they've seen it, or you can just download as a PDF. Generating PDF, please wait, and then you'll have that for your records as well. Let's have a look. Generating PDF, see how it looks. Download. There we are. Copy of digital marketing proposal. What was the date it was sent? Has it been accepted? Is the intro? Why us? Did you know? Here's the plan. What are we going to do for you? What are the payment options? And what is the impact that you're going to have? It's really slick, really stylish, and it took seconds potentially, because you could just use a template that you've already built, scroll down, add in your options, and you're laughing. Now, I do apologize, I haven't gone through the specifics of how to build these proposals, because I would recommend using their templates and then just playing around with those templates. But you can add elements, change colors, choose from preset kind of header themes as well for your cover page. So let's go for a splash header theme, so changing the style there. What I really wanted to emphasize in this section, and where I get value, is simplicity. I don't want to have to stress. I don't want to have to be going around Googling everything, and this is, for me, something that solves that issue. So we've got that proposal there. I haven't sent it yet, but when I would send it, they would receive it, and then they would need to accept it and date it, and then that will come through. Smashing. So again, we can go to templates here, as I said earlier, and we can review a list of templates that we've made. So the other thing, contracts. How many of you have agreed to retainers, or agreed to projects, or agreed to doing work for someone and felt that you didn't know where you stood legally. This, for me, is the price of admission. This is the thing that makes me pay for this. This is why I do it. And for me, this is my biggest use case, is that I get so stressed about whether I'm protected legally in a project and whether I come across in a way that is fair and balanced. And again, it all goes back to authority as well, and building that sense of you know what you're doing. So much like the proposals, the contracts that you can select come from some pre-made templates, and all of the templates have been vetted by lawyers so that you have the assurance and the comfort of knowing that this is something that could stand you in good stead should something need to go to court. But also you can say, well, refer to this section of the contract for XYZ. So I've got a couple of examples here. And contracts, much like proposals, have a tracking system. So you can send it, you can see when they've sent it and opened it, and they can sign it as well, all from within that. So I've got contract drafted, contract sent, but it hasn't been signed. I need to get onto that. So I can unsign and edit, mark as accepted. If they have verbally agreed, obviously it would be nice to get them to actually click on it. But let's do new contract. And I want to walk you through how simple it is. So we were doing a social media project, so social media marketing template, but I could choose from a couple. Say social media marketing. Client, once again, it's me. And once again, it's going to bring up that list of projects that we saw earlier. Example, social media management. Create contract. So now I'm going to have to answer a few questions, and they're going to be very simple, and this will then automatically populate the contract based on that data. So I am the contractor, and I am in the United Kingdom, in England and Wales. True. I work as in this instance, I'm going to leave it there as marketing consultant, but as it says there, with a nice little tooltip, this is how you will be described in the contract. So let's say you're a writer, you change it to writer. You're a designer, you change it to designer. I do not work through a company. I work as myself, and my client is a company named the Digital Dojo in this instance, but perhaps it's a person. But I'm going to leave that as company because that's the example I'm using, the Digital Dojo. So what are you going to do? And they give you a nice little example there. It's a nice recommendation. So I'm going to say the consultant will support the client with monthly social media marketing, publishing, and auditing of content performance. This is very brief, and I would recommend that you put a little bit more detail into it to protect you, but also make sure that it's wide in scope. And then we've got an optional attachment there, a statement of work. So I'm going to go continue. Now, are you an hourly rate? Are you at the end of the contract? Right. Are you daily rate? Are you weekly rate? Are you a monthly rate? A per word rate, particularly for your designers, so copywriters? Or are you paid in milestones when you get to key areas? I'm going to say that this is going to be a flat fee of 2,000. It's very high for this workload, but nonetheless, it's 2,000. Before the work starts, the client will pay me a deposit of 100. That's what I'm going to commit them to. So, and we can see that a deposit is usually 20 to 25% of the total contract budget. Okay, I didn't know that. So this is a nice little helpful guide there. So the more reasonable is the smaller the client, the more reasonable a higher deposit is. So once again, this is where I find the value. I didn't know this. This is helping me to understand how I, as a contractor and as a freelancer, should be pricing my deposit. So on that basis, I'm going to go at 500 as a deposit for that project. So there we go. That's 25%. 25%? Yeah. And then for the remaining amount, I'll invoice them at the end of the project. Yeah, it's a flat fee. So the client has 15 days to pay the invoice. Do you have a late turnaround time? What's your terms of payment? This is what you need to be thinking about, but a lot of us don't think about this. And again, me, price of admission, this is what I pay for. This little thing that helps me to do these things and remind myself of these things. So for small to medium-sized clients, allowing 15 or 30 days to pay for an invoice, net 15 and net 30 is common. For larger clients, allow 30, 60 or 90 days. So I'm going to say 30 days. Are they going to incur a late fee? No. The contract will start on Monday and will end on a specific date. And I'm going to say the following month. There we go. Now, here's another one. If either party ends the contract early, the client will pay a prorated amount for the time worked, or a flat fee. I'm going to go for prorated for the work for the time worked. So know your hourly rate. Always remember your hourly rate. And then we'll go continue. Now, here's another really cool thing. So you identified a couple of things. So your total price for the cost of the project, but then also the deposit. What it can do is it can integrate with its invoicing system built in. So it can create these invoices and automatically send them once you do this, or it can create them and just hold them, getting ready for you to send, or you can say, no, don't create these, and then you'll have to do them yourself. But it's a really nice, easy feature. But again, this is what I value with Hello Bonsai. It is this ability to automate processes that are essential to your day-to-day. So as a part of building out your contract, it's going to create these invoices. It's going to auto send them on my behalf. Fantastic. Create contract. So there we go. It's created a contract based on the information that we provided, and you can say, I've just received an email to say that invoices have been created for the project. Excellent. Good. So they've been sent already. And once again, much like with our proposals and with our projects, we have the ability to go in and amend some of this. The highlighted yellow areas are the areas where we have designated some piece of information. So you know that we've got several things that are tailored to you. And this is the thing, you haven't gone to Google, you haven't searched for something, and you don't have to worry about paying hidden fees for something on Rocket Lawyer, or paying for a subscription fee for a website that doesn't reflect on your business. You know that you've got something that is very targeted and very tailored to your business area, and all of these contracts as they stand have been approved by lawyers for use, which is essential, and it just really gives you that peace of mind. So much like with your proposals, you can obviously add your branding. I'm going to leave my face there. But what about if there's an extra element, an extra line that you've agreed to with your client? Add an addendum. Addendum, I don't know, warranty. The client, sorry, I can't spell today. I didn't press the right key. The contractor does not accept response for any brand management. I don't know why you would say that, but it's just an illustration. So I'll save changes, and then it's just added an addendum at 12.1 warranty. There's an extra clause. As I scroll down now to the bottom, there we are. There's the addendum. The warranty. The contractor does not accept responsibility for any brand management. There we go. That was incredibly easy. Incredibly simple. I'm going to have it co-signed by someone as well. So I'll have a nice little co-signature at the bottom. So I need two people to sign off. Let's just scroll down. And there we are. There's the co-signature. Fantastic. I could sign this and then get it sent and sealed and delivered. I can duplicate it, edit various things, but we don't want to do that. Just wanted to illustrate how quickly and easy it can be to process this. That once again, as with everything else, as with your proposals, this will get sent. You get a notification when it's been sent to the recipient, when they've opened it, when they've signed it, and it will all be logged automatically. No head scratching, no following databases. You can just open it, go to your contracts, go to your agreements, as we're going to do now. I can say, this has been drafted, this one's been sent, and then obviously you would see if something's been approved as well. What project is it for? What client is it for? When was it created? That simple. Super simple. And if you do this routinely and regularly, and you like one that you created earlier, just click on it, save as template, and then boom, you can just refer back to it later. Very simple. Now, there's only a couple more things that I want to bring your attention to today, as we're already several minutes in. Invoices. This is one of the final pieces of the puzzle. So you will have noticed that with the projects, we can create invoices. With our contracts, we've just automatically generated 2 invoices. And where can we see social media management? There's this one here, invoice scheduled and invoice scheduled. So they're already there. They're already in the system. There's the £500 deposit and there's the £1,500 remaining. So it's all here and it's all logged. So you can view what's happened with your invoices. But once again, as before, you can create your own invoice. Digital Dojo, example, social media management, as before, it all gets tied to your clients and your projects. And this is going to be a one-time invoice, but it could be recurring, particularly if you've got a monthly retainer. Create invoice. And you'll see that this is just like everything else. Very modular. So there we go. You have unbilled hours on this project. Do you want to bill them to add them to this invoice and bill your client? Yes, I do. Thank you. Oh, there we go. You must disable the active timer. Oh, damn. We'll do that then. We'll end this timer. There we go. So I'm going to hop in and I'm going to say this was for social media management. Auto calculated, and then add unbilled hours to this invoice. I want to round up my entries, round up to the next hour, add unbilled time. So timesheet added and only visible when editing. Time entries will not be visible to your client. That's fine. So then it's automatically added in the hour that I've just been logging. Social media management. Yep. Did I just do that? Yeah, I did. I forgot which one I put 5 hours for, but that was the project hours worked. Is that right? I can't remember which one was which, but either way, my unbilled hours have just been added to this, which is fantastic. And I can see that if I wanted to add a discount, I can. If I wanted to add expenses, there we go, video collateral. I completely forgot about that, but it was all added to the project. So just add expenses, video collateral. There it is. Nice and simple. Now, the one thing I have noticed is just I'm looking at this. I would love to add a discount, but I haven't actually, my fault, I haven't ever applied a discount before. So I'm afraid I couldn't tell you how to do it. And as part of this, I'm noticing that it isn't apparently obvious or immediately obvious on. Oh. Yes, it is. You just click on the number. I would like, if Hello Bonsai, if you're watching this, I would love it if you could make that function a little bit more apparent, because it's very hard to discern that is what I should be doing. But let's say I'm going to add a discount to that. I'm going to add I would assume a 5% discount. Not a percentage. 5%. It isn't allowing me to enter a percentage. I don't like that. I don't like that. I would like it if I could add a percentage to that. That would be much better. But nonetheless, I've got a total invoice with a £200 reduction, bringing the total to £600. And then I'm going to add a background. I don't know what's in my downloads. Desktop. I'm going to add this. No, I'm not going to add that to my background. It's just a very tall image. I'm just curious to see how this is going to handle it. Okay, so it's a tall image, so you would need to scale that appropriately. Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. It'd be nice if I could edit that and amend it, but it looks like you've got to make sure that it's it's seated there properly. So I've written my invoice. I've added some discounts to it. I've added some elements to it. And now I'm just going to send it. Yeah, there we go. That's my email. Send invoice. And that's done. That's sent. Invoice sent successfully. So when I go back to my invoices, there you go. Digital Dojo via Bonsai. The Digital Dojo sent you an invoice. Thank you very much. And I can see that the invoice is now outstanding because it's been sent. And I've got to make sure that it's paid. But there we go. And I'm going to go back to my dashboard. Oh, look at that expense curve. Last 90 days. Oh, £500. Oh, I've just been sent an invoice for £600. Gosh, that's terrible. Oh. But I can see, very simply, now that I can see what are my outgoings, what's outstanding, £600. I can see on the right-hand side the activity. The Digital Dojo sent an invoice to D. Adams. Let's open that up. Digital Dojo via Bonsai. The Digital Dojo has sent you an invoice. Oh, gosh. Are you serious? I'm going to pay money? View and pay invoice. There we go. Very nice. That's what I like to see. Payment details, so I can open the invoice, I can pay for it. Great, simple, super simple. There we go. So now if I refresh the page, got to see the inner workings of the dashboard. Let's refresh the page. Now, I would hope, maybe it just hasn't refreshed. I would hope to then see activity there. But I can see my build hours there, what I've been up to. I can see that social media management project is there. I can see I've drafted an invoice, which has been issued and outstanding. All of this in one place. So, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it hasn't bored you too much, but for the freelancers, for the contractors out there, take a look at Hello Bonsai. I think you're going to love it. For me, it's been a lot of value. I think there are definitely some areas that we can improve and we can grow, and perhaps they're great receiving feedback on that. But yeah, I think it's great. I really do think that for many of you, this is going to be a big savior to your time and to improve your credibility and your authority, but also to give you that peace of mind. Like for me, proposals and contracts, I mean, even now I'm working with a client and I'm just ruining the day that I make a mistake and I don't have a contract to back me up. And something like this, there is a fee to it. There is a monthly fee of about $19 for the basic one, which is what I'm on, or $29 for the upgraded one with your extra client CRM functionality, so they can come in. But for the peace of mind, you don't have to pay for Rocket Lawyer or anything like that. You don't have to go searching around Google. You can just go in, add your project, add a contract, add a proposal, done. For me, that's the real value. So if you have enjoyed this, I do have an offer for 2 weeks free trial to see what you think of it. It is an affiliate code, so I will be getting a commission, but it's just to help me keep the videos coming, and also because this is something I would really recommend. So link is in the description if you want to give it a try. If you don't worry. Just go there. Don't have to use my affiliate code. Head on over, give it a try, see what you think. For me, it's got a lot of value. Got a lot of kind of saving hours of my time and data management. So I'm a big fan. But if you like it, let me know. And if you enjoyed this video and you found it useful and valuable, do let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I've been Doug Digital, and ta-ra. You made it to the end of the video. Maybe consider subscribing.